from Let Them Eat Cake, and I don't know about you, but I have never been as eager to celebrate the end of the year as I am with 2020. Even though there are not going to be any large gatherings or large dinners this year, I still believe that you have to treat yourself right. So I'm usually baking non-stop from December 1st till the 31st. And so my treat is that my daughter Leah prepares the Buche de Noel for us every year. The Yuli log, the Buche de Noel, which is the traditional Christmas and New Year dessert in France. So today I'm going to show you how to make Leah's Buche, which consists of a sponge cake, which is a genoise. It's covered with a thin layer of dark chocolate and a Dulce de Leche cream with mascarpone. The cake is then rolled to form a log. I taught Leah this dessert when she was, I think, 13 or 14 years old. It is extremely easy and quick to make, but it is incredibly delicious. Even better, even though it needs to rest about 4 hours before eating it, I find this dessert much better the next day, so it is perfect when you have to organize your cooking time before an end of the year meal. So actually Leah just came back home and she's going to help me out. Come on, why don't you come over and we can get started. This is Leah.
All right, so let's get started with the ingredients. We're going to have the conversions up on the screen for you. So here we have 4 eggs at room temperature, and they're separated into 2 bowls. As you can see, we have the yolks here and the egg whites in another bowl. Then we have 70 grams of sugar here. We have 75 grams of all-purpose flour. And if you're baking gluten-free, you can use measure for measure gluten-free flour, the same measurements. Then we have 25 grams of melted butter here and 7.5 grams of vanilla sugar. All right, so first things first, we're going to preheat the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 200 Celsius.
Now, what we're going to do is Leah's going to whisk the eggs, the egg yolks, with the sugar until it's smooth.
Adding the sugar.
And keep the whisk on top of the bowl. You just want to melt a little bit the sugar, so it's a smooth mix. Good. Just a couple of seconds more. That should do it.
Okay.
Now you remove the whisk. Just put it in the sink. You're going to take your flour, put it in. And from the center, yes, you do remember how to do it. From the center, you mix everything and you bring the flour in. Is it visible on the camera? What you can do now is put the butter in. It will help you bring everything to a better consistency. While Leah is doing this, so that we do not waste any time, I'm going to beat the egg whites. So the egg whites always start at slow speed. What you want to do is incorporate as much air as possible, and you do not want to scare the eggs, basically.
You mentioned that the egg white should be at room temperature. Why is that?
Yes, room temperature, because when you want to whip eggs, you will always have better results with egg whites at room temperature, because the protein will be separated a little bit, and look already how fluffy it is. If you had cold egg whites, that would not happen. So it's now starting to foam. I'm going to add some of the vanilla sugar. And since it's nice and foamy, I'm going to increase the beating. Sorry, it's gonna make some noise, so I'm not going to speak. The egg whites are nearly done. I'm going to lower the speed, add the leftover. Can you give me a small spatula and scrub this? Thank you. And I'm going to put it at maximum speed for a few seconds. We call that tightening the eggs. And it is done. It is like the consistency of a thick shaving cream. You do not want it to be too tight, because otherwise it's going to be impossible to incorporate to the batter. Okay, so the egg whites are ready. The batter is ready. We're going to throw egg whites in the batter. To do so, because it is so thick, if you try to incorporate gently the egg whites in it, it's going to be impossible. So what you do, you take about a quarter of the egg whites, you put it in the batter, and you don't care how, you just work it in so that the batter becomes more manageable. You sacrifice a quarter of the egg whites, but it's for a good cause. I need to actually put a little bit more. Did you put cement in there? So as you can see already, the batter is much more liquid. So now what I'm going to do is add half of the remaining egg whites, and using a folding technique. Thank you. Folding technique, starting from the middle, you fold over, quarter rotation. You fold, quarter rotation. Making sure that you scrape once in a while around, and always go very lightly. You do not want to break the egg whites. The egg whites are what is going to help the cake rise. Okay, I'm going to add the second half. All right. Look at how fluffy this batter is. And all the egg whites has been incorporated. So now we took a cookie sheet. The cookie sheet I use is about 13 by 9, which is 33 centimeters by 23.
Couldn't tell you.
Okay. A piece of parchment paper. What I like to do when I do this is spray a little bit of oil onto the cookie sheet so that the paper will stick to the cookie sheet, which is important when you're going to put the batter in and spread the batter. If the paper starts moving, you're not going to like it. So I put 3 small sheet there, and as you can see, miracle, it sticks. Can you pour that in there?
All in the center?
Yes. This.
The master takes over.
Still have a few tricks up my sleeve. And I'm going to use a large flat spatula, but you can use a regular spatula. You're going to spread the batter evenly all over the cookie sheet, making sure not to press too hard. Again, you do not want to break the egg whites. And you're going to the edges. I recommend to use broad movements. And to regularly turn the cookie sheet. And as you remember, I am a messy baker. So try to make it as even as possible. That should do it. So now that this is done, can you put that in the... You're going to take the tray, the cookie sheet, and slap it 3 times, like if you were making a macaron. And I'm going to put that in the oven. Is it ready?
It is.
Yeah, for 9 minutes. It should be a golden color, and you'll be golden. So 9 minutes in the oven it goes. So the cake is ready. It took 9 minutes. It's nice and golden. Now the trick is as follows. You bring your cookie sheet to the board, or to whatever you have to put under it, and Leah is wetting, humidifying a clean kitchen towel. That's how my mom, oops, a little bit. That's how my mom used to make it. And with the wet kitchen towel, you put it over the cookie sheet. Should be visible. And now you turn it over. Hop. Now you take the paper and you slowly peel it. If it doesn't come right away, just wait a few minutes, but always use your hand.
This way it doesn't rip up any cake.
Okay, let's go there. And you can see that is the mark of a well-baked genoise. The brown skin comes out with the paper. There's still a bit of paper here. Here you go. Now here is what we're gonna do. We're going to turn it around, and using the wet kitchen towel, you're going to fold it over, and gently you're going to run to fold the cake. Do you want to do it?
Sure.
And that's basically you're giving the cake muscle memory. So that when it's cold and you're going to add the fillings, it will not break.
No.
So you put it on the edge and let it rest and cool that way. And while this cools, we're going to make the cream.
While the cake is cooling, we're going to get started on the filling. So here we have 300 grams of Dulce de Leche. Try not to eat it all. And we have 250 grams of mascarpone. All right, so now we're gonna put the mascarpone into the Dulce de Leche bowl, and we're gonna mix them until it's all smooth. I haven't asked, I don't think there's a special technique to this.
No, there's not, just do it. As you can see, and as you can see, there is no buttercream in this Yuli lard, in this Buche, for a simple reason. I truly hate buttercream.
All right, and so then we're gonna set this aside until the cake is ready to be added.
The cake is now ready to fill. So what I've done, I took 80 grams of dark chocolate and melted it in the microwave about 3 minutes at power 5. You do not want to go full power with chocolate in the microwave because you're going to separate thank you, the chocolate from the cocoa butter and everything else. So go for 3 minutes at power 5. If it's not yet ready to melt, just add 30 seconds, but be very careful. So with the 80 grams of melted chocolate, I added 1 tablespoon of heavy cream. Can you mix that? Sure. And make it nice and pretty. While Leah is doing this, we're going to, oh no, you wanted to unroll.
That's okay.
That's your job. You're the unroller.
That's okay.
You're the unroller. No. I don't want to mess with the union here. Okay, can you unroll the cake? So very gently.
Which side is it rolling from? Oh, that makes more sense.
As you can see, the cake has already the curve it requires. Let me go there so I can... While the chocolate mix is still warm, I'm going to quickly spread it over the cake. You have to go quite fast that way and spread it all over. The side next to you, in front of you, should have some. The far side should have the least. As you can see, it seizes very quickly. Here you go. We are ready for the Mascarpone Dulce de Leche cream. Can you pass me a paper towel? Now, using about 3/4 of the cream, I'm going to spread it evenly over the cake. And you're going to keep some to be able to cover. It is good. Same thing, you cover evenly. All over the cake. Again, on the side next to you, go all the way up. And towards the end, on the other extremity, it doesn't need to be very thick, because when you're going to roll the cake, it's going to push the cream away. I think should be good that way. All right. As you can see, I kept some of it for decoration. You're going to do it or you want me to do it?
How about you do it?
Okay. So the same thing as earlier. You're going to roll the cake, and again, because we pre-rolled it earlier in a wet towel, it does have the muscle memory and allows you to roll it pretty easily. You just sometimes have to hold the towel under it. And here you go. Can you give me some Ceylon wrap, please? Take your log, seam side down. You're gonna tightly wrap it, close the extremities, and this should go for at least 4 hours in the fridge. So the buche is already cold. It's nice and firm. You can unroll it. I'm going to put it on top of parchment paper so that I don't have to clean the board afterwards. So with your leftover cream, Dulce de Leche mascarpone cream, all you need to do is spread on top, completely cover it. And there's a reason why it's on this side of the board and not on that side. If you see what I mean. Using a spatula, you're going to spray it all over. You want to make the wood?
I don't possess your artistic skills.
There's not much skills there. Do you know the story of the way we create a bûche de Noël?
I do not.
It is because in the olden days, the tradition in France was that there would be, people would go, it was usually, the wood had to be brought by 2 people into the house, and they would find the biggest piece of wood that they would put in the chimney, and the rule would be that it should be ignited by the youngest person in the household, and it should last, it should burn until at least the 25th of December, and if possible until January 6th, which is the Epiphany Day. And Epiphany is not only the Galette Day, it's when the wise men came bearing gifts. So of course now we do not have the type of chimneys that allows us to have that type of logs. You scared me. So now we have it as a cake. Now you're going to, at an angle, you're going to cut the edge of the cake and put it on the other side from this monster, because I know what's going to happen. And it's either the cooked celery, or what you can do is use it as a little knob here. I'm going to do it like this and like this. I'm going to put some cream on top.
I was yelled at for eating the filling, and yet we have some to spare.
All right, we're going to cover the sides. As you can see, you can really see the roll. Okay, gently with 2 spatulas, transfer the lard. Not lucky today. Thank you. Let's make it pretty. Center is in town. No, just the center, I think. So here it is, the Dulce de Leche Mascarpone Buche de Noel. I think we deserve a treat.
I think so too.
Yeah. Let me do this. I'm going to cut here. As you can see, you have the cream around, the sponginess of the cake, the crisp of the dark chocolate, and more cream. Here you go.
Thank you.
Fork for you. Try it. Okay. All right then. There's the cameraman behind making faces. He's drooling. He's actually drooling. So if you like this video, please subscribe, like it. Do share the video. I'd really appreciate it. Until next time, bon appétit.
À bientôt
Joyeux Noël.
et bonne année.